Like I say, I had actually done ink and stuff like that, and I had done it in. Well, I had my pens out of my feather down feathers. You know, my feathers. I had those, and we were using some of the feathers because we had a chicken. I had a chicken thing, and they would clean off the chickens, or not a chicken, goose or geese. We had a farm, whatever, and they had all these feathers, and it's like, well, what do you do with feathers? I mean, and I was like, pillows, blankets, pins. I don't really know what to do with feathers. I was like, but we had all these feathers, and it's like, well, I guess just throw them in the landfill. I don't really know because it was a farm, and we were, and they were using the feathers. It's like, well, what do you do with feathers? I was like, pillows, maybe. Maybe some blankets or a jacket or something. I don't really. I was like, I don't know what to do with the feathers because we needed the meat from the chickens and stuff, or the geese. And so we had all these feathers that were basically just being thrown away, and it's like, well, we really should do something with them though, because we had quite a lot of them, you see. And so I really didn't know what to do with them. I was like, all right, well, why don't you guys work on what to do with the feathers and try some pillows or something like that, and maybe some jackets. I don't know. Feathers are warm, right? They're soft, right? So yeah. So anyway, and I was like, well, maybe a pen, if we could get some sort of stuff. I don't know, something. I was like, I don't know, if we use some coloring or something. I don't know, some way of writing with it, maybe, because we just had lead back then and stuff like that, and like charcoal and stuff, and like it was brand new back then. I was like, well, I don't know, maybe something liquidy. I was like, I don't really know. I mean, it'd be cool if we could write better. Instead of just writing with pencil, because, something permanent would be kind of cool. Because pencil, you could just erase it. It was a problem for contracts, because anytime you write a contract, it's like someone just goes, I give him everything. I mean, he gives me everything, sorry. You signed it! Look! And it's like, yeah, this is a problem. And and some contracts were actually signed in blood. I was like, all right, now cut yourself and put a blood stamp, put a blood fingerprint in there. But the blood would just flake off anyway, so they kind of stopped doing that. Because I got so sick of people like erasing the contract, and people were like, he erased it and rewrote it. I was like, ugh. I believe you. Fine. What's the problem? Anyway. And usually it was just something stupid like, I'll tell you what, you work for me and you complete the job, and I get whatever you're making for him, and I'll pay you whatever's left, or whatever he owes you to get the product done. So that's kind of how I basically picked up on a lot of contracts, pretty much like that, because other people would back out of deals, or other people would start a project and then they would be like, all right, later, bye, or later, bye. And I'd be like, all right, you know what? Tell you what, I like the idea. Why don't you work for me? And I'll pay you the difference. So a lot of people, that's kind of how, people would back out of contracts all the time. And every time they did, I'm just a little businessman. Yes. How can I help? Lusifer Star here. Mining and shipping. But basically, people would back out of contracts, and I'd be like, okay, I'll tell you what. Just to settle this difference, can you provide it? Oh, you can? Okay. All right. Then, okay, then you work for me, and we'll pay you the difference. And I'll pay you. Because I got the money. Because I was like Lusifer Star of White Star Lines. So anytime a person would find out, like a lot of times, and there were a lot of gold mines, it's like, he salted the mine. There's gold there. And I was like, oh, I'll tell you what, you know what? Will you take 1/3 of the cost for the land? Okay, that way you walk away with something. Or half. A lot of people were like, all right. I'm like, okay. How much is it? 3 gold? Okay, do it. I'll pay 3 gold. Yeah, it's just like 4 gold pieces, sir. Like, Okay, 4 gold pieces. Yeah, that's why there was all these surveying people. They like somewhere around 1890 or 1900. I was like, all right, I need someone to go around and survey all my properties and just see what the f is going on. Because I got all these gold mines, all these fake gold mines. I got all this land. I got all these houses. I got all these factories, and I don't know what the f is going on. So I was like, I need someone. Germany, China. I was like, somebody. Anyway, so I needed to have people do surveys of everything. You know, see how much everything is worth, what it'll cost to fix it up, or should we just dump it? You know, and stuff like that. Because I had to thin my crop a little bit. You know, I had to like cut things down because I had been going through the ages and basically, you know, buying this mine. You know, someone salted this mine and basically like and it was funny. Like I say, it was actually really funny because sometimes people would be like, "There's nothing there. It's dirt. It's rocks. There's nothing good there." And then you know, my people go in there and my people were like, "Well, he wasn't exactly right about there being nothing here. There actually is something here." And it might be valuable. Anyway, so my experts would go in there and be like, yes, this is fucking mamula, you know, like this kind of rock. And I'm like, oh, really? Is there anything we can do with it? And some of my scientists would be like, maybe. Anyway, they didn't actually say that. I was like, is there anything we can do with it? You know, basically, I'm running plan. I'm running everything. You know, and so basically, yeah. I mean, I had surveys. So basically, we launched survey ships. They would just go out and survey everything, and it was like, yeah, because like I say, I mean, I was an inventor of contracts, and people would still back out of a contract. Like they would get mining or they'd get going, and it's like, and then people would be like, well, we've hit we can't go any further without any more money. We're broke. We're all out of money. I was like, all right, I'll tell you what, I'll pay for your equipment. And you walk away. I'll send a crew there sometime. Tell one of my other people to send a crew out to your mine, and we'll pay you the difference. So, anyway, so that's kind of how I picked up so much stuff. Is that a lot of people? Sometimes people would back out of properties, or someplace would get run down. You know, or there'd be a ecological disaster that would cost like millions or billions of dollars to clean up, and possibly endanger people's lives doing it. So basically, I picked up all these properties. You know, people were just like, we just want to get out of here. We just want to go live somewhere else. And it's like, okay, all right, pay the man. You know, take half value. Usually I only paid like half value or 1/3 value because I'm like, well, it's going to be junk for me too. So, you know, and it's going to cost money to fix it up or clean it up. So 1/3 value or half value or something like that. So usually I got things for about 1/3 value or something. And then later on, Germany was like, "You're paying way too much for these properties." Anyway, so basically Germany was overseeing everything, and that's why people kind of started hating the Germans because the Germans would be like, "No, we won't pay it." You know, because and a lot of people thought Germany was rich, but Germany wasn't really rich. They were just overseeing my properties, overseeing my stuff. They were fixing everything up, getting everything all working in order. You know, Hans and Gruber, bring the paint. You know, that kind of thing. You know, so they were just looking after my stuff, really, and even China. You know, I had a couple Chinese working for me, and it's kind of the same situation. You know, because places would become run down, or the pipes would be no good, or there would be like ecological disaster areas, and it's like 142 acres, 260 million years, it'll be barren. And I just bought it. For full price! No, for like half price or 1/3 price. Basically just giving the people just enough to get somewhere else. And the people were always really cool about it because, you know, it's basically like, you know, it's not my fault, but just a little businessman. And then later on, but then later on, when my aircraft company started to take off and I had the Titanic, then I started to pay full price for things. So people really loved me then. Because like I said, when I got the Titanic and when I got the other ships and everything was just like ticking over really well, then I was like, well, I'm basically the richest person ever. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and just pay full price for it. Don't worry about it. And do the cleanup. We'll get it in the long run. Yeah, and I started playing the long game on a lot of these things. Because it's like, yeah, I'll still pay full price. It's fine. You know, because, I mean, Titanic, cruise lines, I just had all this, I had so much momentum that I was like, well, I can be really cool now. So yeah, well, I'll pay full price. That's no problem. So I was paying full price for things. And so people were getting more money. And besides, like I said, I was starting the stores. And the problem is people would walk into my stores and it's like, 10 cents? We make a bit a day. In a week, we could afford a chocolate bar. Here's your chocolate. It's a little kiss. And so it was like, so I mean, nobody had any money. So I was like, well, only one way to fix that.